So we start with 300 ml warm water, put in 2 teaspoons of honey. You can replace it with sugar, and 1 teaspoon of yeast to activate the water for the pizza dough. So measuring the flour, put in 2.5 cup of flour. You can use any cup to measure. You just have to know it's 2.5. And I was making 2 pieces, so I put in half a teaspoon of salt, and then I mixed it up to incorporate the salt well in the flour. Then after that I put in tablespoon of oil to mix it up well with the flour. The next one will be to be pouring in gradually the activated yeast water to get the consistency that you want for your dough. So you put your activated yeast water in it as a gradual process until you get the consistency that you want. Then after that, you need it for it to become smooth. So this is the process of me kneading it. When it becomes sticky, you can just add a bit of flour and continue kneading, but you have to knead it for it to be smooth. Then you cover it up for it to proof. So the dough is ready for it to be proofed. This stage I oiled up the glass bowl so that the dough doesn't stick when it expands. Then you put a bit of oil around the dough so that it doesn't also stick inside the glass, and you rub it around. You see how I'm doing it. Whilst that is done, the next step is to put an aluminium foil over it. You can put a napkin over it. The reason is just for the dough to extract enough heat or to accumulate enough heat for the dough to proof well. So you see, I also covered the dough up with napkin. Once the dough get proofed enough, you take the dough and separate them into 2 folds. So this is one that I've separated, and I'm putting it into a Ziploc bag for it to stay overnight. One reason for this is to let the dough test really well. So this is just to stay in the fridge overnight. The next day, I take the dough out and it's time to make the pizza. So I put a bit of flour on the wooden board, wet it up a bit so that it doesn't get really sticky on my hands, and also the dough doesn't get sticky on the chopping board. You take the dough now, then you take a bit of flour to dry your hands. Then what you do next is we are going to be turning the dough to and fro to elongate it, because if you use a rolling pin, it's going to get stuck on the wood. So you see how I'm taking it. Take a bit of flour, then you wrap it around the dough until you feel like it is not sticky enough. So after this, you see how round and circular I've made the dough. Then after that, you try to use your fingertips to press the ends of the dough, because we want the crust to have that raised ends. Then after that, you take the dough and you flap it around to and fro to elongate the dough to get the actual size that you want for your pizza. So let's just follow along how I am doing it. It's very easy. Try to make sure that the dough doesn't get stuck on your fingers and also on the wooden board. Once that is done, we are going to put the dough onto the pizza plate that we'll put in the oven. I have my cheese, I have my vegetables done, I have my sauce done, and I also have the meat done. So all we are about to do is just to put the sauce, assemble all of them onto the pizza, then we put them in the oven. So we just put the sauce, a little is enough to go a long way. Put the sauce onto the dough, wrap it all around. You can some even put it along the edges of it, and it's all right. You just have to do what's best for you. Once that is done, we are going to go in and layer our dough with our cheese, which comes second after putting in or putting on the tomato as the base. It's very easy. You just grate the cheese up if it's not already grated. Grate it up a bit. I put this in the fridge for it not to get so soggy. So then you just drizzle or sprinkle around a bit of cheese onto the base. Then later we are going to put a lot of the cheese on top of the fillings and the pizza. We are also going to go in and put our vegetables, um, a bunch of it on the dough. You see how I'm shaking it? I'm trying to incorporate all the various types of veggies that I've cut so that we can get every bite of it. Then you put that one too over the cheese. Try to spread it across the dough so that every bite gets a crunch of it. Then what is left is for us to put the meat on top of the vegetables, and the last of it will also be to put the cheese, enough of it to cover up the fillings, because we also want that consistency of tangy effect of the cheese. So your choice of protein depends on you. I chose beef as my protein. I mixed the beef up and used it. You can use sausages, you can use chicken, you can use fish. It depends on your taste of preference. So once that is done, you just put it in the oven and you have a finished look like this. Whilst this is hot, you cut it into any shape that you want, and this is how I did it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.